on the move.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mom, I'm on the move. Okay, here we go. Good morning. Happy first Wednesday of the year, UMA Community Clinic family. I hope you all had an enjoyable holiday season with friends, family, and loved ones, and had lots of good food and some rest and a lot of water. So I'm so glad that you're here. This will be the first class that I've taught this year, and I'm excited about that. I was able to go to a class yesterday for myself, a lady that was teaching also chair yoga, and I wanted to go see her for just some inspiration to freshen up my routine, because most teachers fall into a standard routine, even though we know a zillion poses. Sometimes the ones we do the most pop up in our memory while we're teaching. So she did an excellent class. Funny story, I never met this lady before that I knew of, but while she was teaching, she said, we're going to do a DeJur twist right now. And I'm thinking, there's more than one person with your name. Who do you think you are? You are not, she's not talking about you, right? And so I'm going through this whole thing. And after class, I go up to say hello and introduce myself. And she said, I taught her last year in a module for trauma-informed yoga, and I taught this certain type of chair twist. And she named it after me. And I was, we almost both started crying because her class was so good and rejuvenating. And I was happy. I have not been to a class for myself. And I don't think I went to one last year on the outside. So it was such a treat for me. And I felt so happy to be there. I'm actually going back to see her today because she teaches 4 classes a week. So she's going to be my new person I visit on Tuesdays through Fridays at 11 if I'm in town. So I just wanted to share that with you. I have a pose named after me, which is great. So we'll start with my usual reminders. I forgot to do my land acknowledgement. So I want to quickly acknowledge that I am on the Tongva and Gabrielino nations land. These were the first nations of this area. This area was colonized and stolen from the Tongvas and renamed Los Angeles. So I want to give honor to them, honoring their past and present memories and thanking them for their stewardship of this part of the world. Okay, so my usual reminders, if you have any injuries that you know of, please be very mindful of your body and move thoughtfully. We don't want to ever be in pain in yoga. We don't ever want to create pain in a place that we know is already injured. We want to be thoughtful. If something hurts, back out of it. Try it a little less, enthusiastically. Try it out a little less enthusiastically. And if it still hurts, then just wait and take some deep breaths, and we'll join with the next pose. If you need a break while we're together, make that happen for yourself. You may step away, lay down, bathroom, water break, just a rest break, do whatever you need to do. You are your own best yoga teacher, so you know what to do. If you feel too much is happening, just take a moment. Anything goes in my class. I don't want anyone here to feel like they are under my control. Everything we do here is by agency, which means you decide if you want to do it. Over the years, before I became a teacher, it was always taught to us that the poses you don't like are the ones you need the most. And for some people, the poses that they don't like might be a trigger or an activation for them. And so I learned not to say that anymore. And I say, if you don't like the pose, you don't have to do the pose, and just keep it where we can choose make our own decisions about the class that we do. So I'm going to get back on my mat, and we will start with a good morning, Danielle. I'm glad you're here. We'll start with a grounding, how we usually start. And then we're going to do some mindfulness beginning, taking a little bit of Carolyn, the lady that I went to her class yesterday, taking a little bit of the elements of her class and putting them to work here. So come to a comfortable seat on the floor. I'm gonna use my blanket to tuck behind my butt. I'm not sitting on it particularly, but I'm gonna line my sit bones on this edge, and it helps me to lift my hips up higher than my knees. Okay. And so for some, this placement of a blanket, you can also use a towel. It's helpful in correcting posture. It makes your spine a little bit longer. And so try that. I'm trying to get this camera together here. If you have a towel available or a small blanket, this blanket is probably about the size of a twin bed or a child's bed. It's not a huge blanket. Okay. So we'll sit comfortably. You may sit like I am sitting. This is called easy pose, cross-leg seated pose. The Sanskrit name of this is Sukhasana. Sukhasana is the Sanskrit word for easy pose or cross-leg seated pose. You can adjust your legs near your torso and push them away a bit. You can move them around and find out where positioning them, what position feels the best for you, and you'll know it when you find it. You may also sit with your legs out if that's more comfortable. Okay, we're sitting up really tall. So whichever way your legs are positioned, lift the spine up toward the sky. Hands on your knees or thighs. You can place palms up or down, talking about hand placement. The language of yoga is Sanskrit. So in Sanskrit, there's a word called mudras. Mudra means hand yoga. So the placement of my hands are palms down right now. That's a grounding gesture. So if you're out in the world feeling a little heady or a little scattered, you can just sit wherever you are. Doesn't matter, in a chair, in the car, and just place your palms down on something. Doesn't have to be on you. On something, and that'll help you maybe to feel a little more stable and grounded. So that's the palms down gesture. Palms up is more of a receiving gesture, a receiving mudra. And I apologize to you, there's so many of these mudras, I don't have them committed, the names of the few that I do committed to memory. But receiving gestures is palms up and cupped a little bit. And that is the receiving gesture. We've seen prayer hands in Sanskrit. This is Anjali Mudra. Prayer hands, hand yoga, mudra. You've seen the peace sign and various other symbols that some of the religious and spiritual images have their hands positioned. Jesus, I think his is like this, I think. The peace sign is my favorite. Hands cupped below the belly. You may hang on to your belly. This is a very grounding placement or stabilizing placement of the hands if you want to try that. You may leave left hand over the belly, right hand over the heart. So I'm just showing you some options. So once we actually get started, you can decide the placement, and you have a toolbox of hand placements or mudras to pick from. And then the other thing would be the left hand over the right. We're pressing inward gently so that you can actually feel your heartbeat either through the right palm or both palms if you press in hard enough. Okay, so pick your hand placement. Just take a couple breaths, and while you're doing these breaths, we're breathing through our nose. I want you to just notice the parts of you that are touching, and I'm going to name on me, so just to give you some ideas. I feel what's called the blade side, the pinky toe side of my feet touching the mat, so you can see that here. Okay. I feel my legs touching my feet. Okay, my hands, I feel my hands touching my thighs. I feel my tush touching the blanket. So just have an awareness of the points of gravity on your body. And this is again a way to ground us into the space that we're in. Grounding just means to come together, to leave everything else outside for the time we're together. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff will be waiting for us when we get finished. But just to come into the space with the intention of we're here to do a yoga class. Checking on the breath, we're breathing through our nose, and throughout the class, we'll be using really big, exaggerated breaths. Okay, we want to fill the lungs completely through the nose, and then let all of that breath out also through the nose. Okay, and this fills the body with oxygen, and also it cleans out each breath. When we exhale deeply and fully, it gets the previous breath out. It has no more oxygen in it and makes space for a new breath full of fresh oxygen. That oxygen is carried around the body by the blood. And so when we fill ourselves with oxygen, first of all, most of us are oxygen deprived, and we might feel a sense of euphoria or brightness when we are more oxygenated, which is a good thing. We don't breathe big in our regular living, and we have a lot of old stale air that just sits in the bottom of the lungs, and it has no use at all. And so throughout your day, try to remember, I don't breathe like this all day, but there are periods of time throughout the day where I'll stop what I'm doing, just take a few inhales and exhales. Sometimes something has annoyed me and I just need to reset. And I do a few of those and I continue on. So taking the breath through your nose, let's take 5 cycles of breath while we're doing our grounding. So 5 on your own count. And obviously our lungs are different capacities. So fill your lungs as full as you can, and then let out all the air. Do that 5 times and take your time. If you want to do them fast, feel free. You can do them slow. It doesn't matter. There's no rule on how fast or slow to breathe. I think slow breathing has a more calming effect on the body. So like a bonus, we're still getting the same amount of oxygen, but it just has a more calming, settling effect. And so do 5 of those. Once you're done, we'll move on to the next thing. I'm having you look around your room, your space, at the things that are there, and the colors of those things, and the materials of those things. So I'll name some things. The fabric on my chair, it's leopard print. So the print of that fabric. I have a thing about leopard print things. I love it. And polka dot things. The wood of the walls. The popcorn ceiling. Yes, I still have that. Popcorn ceiling. The sheer curtains. The plants. The hardwood floor. I have tile over here. This room divider that came with the apartment. I call them go-go rings, but those, I love those. I'm just looking around, my little artwork here and there. So we can use this orienting is what this part is called. In any space we're in, I use it, I tell people when I'm teaching. I use it a lot when I go see the tax guy, because I always owe money. So I'm always like unsettled, but not about him, just about the whole process. So when I sit in his lobby, I'm looking around, breathing, and just looking around and grounding and noticing my feet on the floor and what parts of me are touching the seating I'm in. And so I use these tools regularly. So that's the orienting, is by looking around the space. And clearly spaces we've looked at a zillion times, we live in these spaces, so we know where the things are, but just having a thoughtful awareness of things. We move on to sounds. Sounds inside your place, inside. We're going to go outdoors next, but any sounds inside. I hear something, but I can't figure out what it is. But anyway, maybe it's the refrigerator motor. That's all I have going on in here right now. We move our attention outdoors. I hear a car outside, not parked, but sitting. The motor. Gratefully, the gardener across the street has not shown up yet with his lawnmower. Otherwise, it's quiet out there. So have a listen to what's outside your space. Any smells in your space, maybe breakfast or coffee or flowers or whatever. I didn't put on the diffuser this morning because I got a little bit of a late start. But you may be diffusing essential oils. And then we'll do the sense of touch, your pants or bottoms, the fabric, smooth or soft. I should say smooth or rough, excuse me, smooth or rough, thin or thick. What is the fabric of your pants or even your top? You can do that too. And just notice the textures and the wrinkles, like right by my armpit, this up top is wrinkly. I can feel those with my hand. I'm aware of that. Okay, so this is how we do grounding and orienting. Those are just some examples. Do the sense of taste, what you had last to eat. I had toothpaste. I didn't eat it, but I had toothpaste. So may have coffee or fruit or whatever taste in your mouth. You can use all 5 senses to do this, and it can be anything you make up while you're out there. It doesn't have to be a set prescribed thing. Sometimes I do 5 things I see, 4 things I smell, if you smell 4 things, 3 things that I touch, 2 things, etc., down to 1, and I just count, or 5 things of the same color. I look around and I count 5 things of the same color. So, and you can do anything. So we're going to start here officially with just some gentle circles. I took so long on that I'm going to skip over the little mindfulness part. We'll do that next time. And I want you to get some movement here while we're together. So these circles are just slow and easy. They can be more vertical, where your torso stays more upright, or you can go wider if you want, or you can go really deep if you want, and you decide how you want to do these. What I ask is when you come forward, that's where you let your breath out, and when you come up or back, that's when you take a breath in, because clearly your lungs are available to be totally filled up. And so that's the cycle of the breathing that we use with this movement. It's in and out. We always link the breath and the motion we're doing in yoga. And that keeps, again, the body getting filled up with oxygen, and also that we aren't holding our breath, because the body will start to freak out after a time if you're holding your breath, because it's looking for its next batch of oxygen, unless you're swimming, like underwater swimming. That's the only time it's good, obviously good to hold your breath. But when we hold our breath, especially sometimes we're so caught up, we're holding our breath, and then the body starts to have a thing, like and so anxiety can creep in from that. Let's reverse the circle. So again, linking breath, exhaling when you come forward, inhaling when you come up or back. Just this shape movement, even though the torso is doing all the moving, this is really for the hips, because the hip sockets are moving around the tops of the thigh. Well, that's what's happening here. Also, the forward bending, forward leaning is good for the low back. So if your low back is tight a lot, any sitting forward or standing and bending forward is really therapeutic for tight back. Gravity pulls us down once we step out of bed. The gravity, to keep us tethered to the earth, gravity pushes us down, and sometimes our spine gets compressed on itself. So these circles can help to re-lengthen that. Let's extend legs for just a second. Windshield wiper your feet, and then we're going to recross the leg, put the other leg on top. Okay, and I usually cross my legs for some reason. It's just a habit with the left leg in front. I don't know why, but every time it just happens. So bring hands to heart. This is again Anjali Mudra. Sweep out, palms touch, and then left hand on the mat straight out from your shoulder. Left palm is flat. We're going to lean over to the side. Palm is flat, fingers are wide. And the right arm, excuse me, I'm going to do this the other way. Stay as you are. I'm backwards. My right arm now comes toward, my left arm comes toward my left ear. We're going to just do it normal. I'm trying to mirror, but I'm just going to not do that right now. So my left arm is near my left ear. My left shoulder is going to want to curve forward. We want to do a side stretch. So pull the left shoulder back, left arm near left ear, hold here. And meanwhile, make sure the left butt is glued onto the floor. or the mat. If the left side comes up, it's not a stretch. Okay, so we're holding here. We are breathing. I want you to look up toward the ceiling. Welcome, newcomer. I don't have my phone close enough to see your name, but I'm glad you're here. Happy New Year. Welcome to my first class of the year. Look down toward the floor. And again, we're pressing firmly onto the right hand. Look up toward the ceiling. Look down toward the floor. Inhale, both arms up. I want you to notice how your left side body feels when we come up, because we just stretched all those muscles on the left side body. Inhale twice here. Inhale, exhale twice here. And then lower left hand down onto the mat. Right arm comes toward the right ear. Right shoulder stays back, reaching with the right arm toward the left. Right butt stays on the floor. If you lift off the floor on the opposite side, you lose the whole stretch. So, right hip on the mat, right arm by your right ear. Look up toward the ceiling. Look down toward the floor. Look up toward the ceiling. Look down toward the floor, and we'll do one more. Up toward the ceiling and down toward the floor. And then come up, both arms up, inhale. So it looks like this. We're gonna go back to side one. Right hand down, left arm up and across. Here we're gonna circle the left arm. So you may do more vertical circles, small diameter, small radius. I don't know if that's which word that is in math, but small. Or you may do larger circles. Hello and welcome. I don't know if someone's coming or going. When you're moving your arm around, take some big breaths. Hello, welcome. And then we're going to reverse the direction. Hey, Tina Michelle. So glad you're here, sister. Starting out the new year with a bang. So we're leaning over on the right hand. Right arm is straight out from the right shoulder, pressing into the mat. And we're doing these left arm circles. So as big or as small as you're interested in doing. And then come upright, both arms meet. Take 2 breaths here. And the left arm comes down, right ear near right arm near right ear. And then circle big, the right arm. You can also circle small with the right arm, your choice. The right shoulder is pulled back, the right butt is on the mat. If your right butt lifts off the mat, you're no longer getting a stretch on the right side ribs. Reverse the direction of the circle. Inhale, both arms up, take 2 breaths. Separate your legs wide, not so wide that you get pain on the inside of your thighs, okay? And come down. This coming down was the exhale, inhale, lift, sit up really straight. Stack your spine on top of itself by sitting up as straight as you can. Exhale forward. Turn your toes so they're pointing up to the sky. Inhale up, exhale down. So when you flex your feet, your legs are getting a passive toning, which means the flexed feet make the muscles engage in the legs and thighs. Inhale, come up. And so you're getting a passive way of toning those muscles. Exhale, come down. You can come down on fingertips. These fingertip positionings of some of the things we'll be doing help to strengthen the muscles in your hands. So you can be on fingertips here. You can flatten the palms, wide, flat fingers, palm pressing into the mat. Or if you have access yet, because I'm kind of cold, not cold, but my muscles are cold, you can come down on forearms. I'm not ready for that yet because it feels like it's too much, but there's an option for some of you if you're loose enough to do that. Just take some breaths here. The spine is long, it's straight. We're not humped down. We have a flat back, even though we're leaning forward. So it might help to lift your chest a little bit. See how that feels. Chest lifts, chin is up, chin is parallel to the floor. So we're not cranking the chin up where the back of the neck is crimped. We just have the chin parallel to the floor. And hold here. So we're holding, as I say every week, the muscles, especially these early morning classes, our muscles are typically not warm. And so we sit with these shapes to allow the muscles to stretch a little bit. Initially, they might have a little struggle and then they relax. So we're trying to get to that. So we hold these shapes. Check on your feet, toes turned up. Looking down, gazing down towards your thumbs or towards your yoga mat. Smoothing out the breath. We're breathing through the nose. We're going to walk hands over to the left. So turn your torso towards your left thigh. One hand on either side of the left leg. If you have access to forearms down, great. I don't yet. Some of you may have access to hands around your feet, or your foot rather. So both hands around the left foot if you have access to that. Whatever you got. Hands can be near the calves. Hands can be near the knees. You don't have to come all the way down just because I am. Come where it's comfortable, but turn your torso. So you're getting a twist in the spine. So that's an added bonus. You may feel a little extra in the back of your left thigh, left leg rather. And that's a good thing. That's stretching the calves, the backs of the knees, and the hamstrings and the backs of the thighs. Again, feet are flipped up, toes are pointing up toward the sky. Feet are flexed. Look down at the left ankle, left knee, so that your neck is long. You might feel also a little bit of a pull on the inside of the right thigh. That's the inner hamstring muscle. So this is a nice stretch for that. We're turned away, so that stretch is enhanced, or that lengthening is enhanced because we're turned the opposite way. Inhale, both arms up, and take 2 breaths here. And then twist to the right, exhale, come down. So same options, hands by the knees. Torsos turned toward the right thigh, hands by the calves. Hands down by the ankles, hands around your right foot, your choice. Breathe here. Look down at the right knee. Smooth out the breath. Take 2 more breaths here. And then inhale. Arms up. We're going to go down forward again. So hands wherever you place them, in front of you, flat palms, spread your fingers wide. Press into the mat. That engages the muscles in the arms, where you can lift up on fingertips, as I mentioned before. Now, it might feel a little easier to access this time because we did some twists to each side and we've already leaned forward like this, so it might feel a little easier to get into this shape. You also have forearm options if you want to. Look down toward the mat, hold here. Check on your breath. And then we'll inhale, lift, arms up high. Sit up straight. Exhale, forward. We'll do 5 of these all together. So when you come forward, don't curve your back. I don't want that. I want a flat back. Okay, and that means lift the chest. Inhale, come up. This is number 4. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. That was 3. Here's 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Last one. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, down. And then walk yourself upright. Bring the legs together. Windshield wiper your feet and check out the arms too. Do a little body scan of how things feel from the waist down. Might be stretched out quite a bit. So legs wide again. We're going to set up like that. Bring the right foot to touch the inside of the left thigh. We are not underneath the left thigh with the right foot. It's just touching the inside of the left thigh. Left toes are pointing up. Take your left hand, put it to the right knee. Twist to your right. The left toes are flexed. The right hand is behind you to help you twist your torso, but you can be on fingertips or flat palm. It's up to you. You can decide. So this twisting, as I mentioned earlier, twisting away, I feel a deeper stretch happening or deep stretch happening on the inside of my left thigh. You can also take the right hand and wrap it behind you toward the left hip, or you can just place it at the low spine. I'm going to turn around and show you. You place it here or all the way across. Okay, and what this wrapping does, it gives a nice stretch to the muscles up front, the shoulder cap of the right shoulder. Okay, so those are 3 options for the arms. I'll name them again. You can wrap the right arm behind or around behind you. You can set the fingertips on the mat behind you. Or you can have the palm flat behind you, your choice. We use the left hand to help twist us a little more. The left toes are pointing up. Move your head side to side, slow. Now you have to do it fast. I don't want you to whip your neck back and forth, but go really slow or medium slow. And then exhale, walk your hands torso on top of the right thigh. Walk your hands out away from your knee, the right knee. Try to keep the left buttocks up. It's going to want to lift. We don't want to come down so far that the butt is up in the air, left buttock in the air. So we just want to come forward a little bit to get a nice stretch. So for this shape for me, I feel even deeper stretch happening on the inside of the left thigh. Look down at the right knee and hold here. So again, the left tush is still glued on the floor. Okay, if your left butt lifts, come out of the pose a little bit. Okay. And then walk yourself up on an inhale. And then extend the right leg out, left foot in, touches the inside of the right thigh. Right toes are up. Right hand touches left knee, and then with the left hand, we talked about this on the other side, left fingertips on the floor, left palm on the floor, or you can wrap the left hand either to the center of your low spine down by the sacrum. You can wrap it around toward the right hip, checking on the sensations in the left shoulder cap. See how that feels. Smooth out your breath, sit up tall. You may move your head or not. Pick one position for it or move it back and forth. You can choose. Smooth breath. And then exhale, torso over the left thigh. Hands stretch away from the left knee. Look down at the left knee. The right foot is still flexed. Breathe through your nose. And then inhale yourself up. Stretch out the left leg, stretch out both legs. That's windshield wiper the legs again. We're gonna come down on our back. So this on our back is called supine. So corpse pose is the traditional corpse pose. We're laying on our back. It's a supine pose. Okay, so we'll take just a couple breaths here, then we'll move on. Check on your breathing, check on your jaw. Jaw should be loose. Facial muscles neutral. If this laying out flat is not comfortable for you because of low back tightness, you can always modify and make it more accessible by planting feet flat on the long edges of your mat, and dropping the knees together. This takes some of the pressure off of the low back. The lumbar spine holds a lot of tension. Bad posture doesn't help it at all. And so this is a way to make it more accessible to your body. For some of us, laying on our backs is not physically, well, emotionally uncomfortable. Vulnerable position, so you can always lay on one side. Bending the knees, bottom arm is your pillow. Why am I getting a text message right now? I cannot read that. Anyway, so that's our little break. We're going to come flat on our back, leave the left foot on the mat, extend the right foot up all the way. Hang on to your right leg wherever. You can hang on to the right thigh, right knee, right calf. I want you to point your toe and point your toes and pretend you're drawing circles on the ceiling with your toe, with your big toe. And then reverse that. It's kind of a brain teaser. And then relax that and then point and flex, point and flex, point and flex the right foot. And then circle the whole foot. I had you just circling by the big toe before. Now I want you to circle your whole right foot. Reverse that. And then hold here. Flex the right foot. Exhale, lift your head towards your right knee. Forehead toward the right knee. Inhale, come down. We'll do 4 more. Exhale, forehead toward the right knee. Inhale, come down. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. Exhale, I'm going to hold here. My shoulders are up off the mat. My abdominal muscles are turned on. And just hold here, but keep the breath flowing. Check on your breath. Try to relax the shoulders. They might want to come up around your ears to help. We don't need their help with this. We're using our abs. Okay, and then slowly inhale down. And then exhale, lower the right leg, but take your time. Use your abs, control the lowering. Okay, we don't just want to throw it on the floor. We want to control it all the way down. Extend the left leg out. Both arms come up, big stretch here. So some options for stretch, for your stretching. Basic stretch, what we're doing now. You can also circle wrists and ankles. Reverse the circling if you're circling. You don't have to, I'm just showing you some options. You can point and flex the feet. We did that a minute ago. You can also point and flex and release your hands. Okay, so those are the options. We'll move on to the other side. Right foot on the floor, right knee straight up. So right knee is going to want to hang out to the side. Control that. Use your muscles. Control that right knee straight up. Lift the left leg. Hang on anywhere on the leg. You don't have to hold on to the leg at all if you don't want to. Your choice. So for beginning, flex your toes towards your face or the area spot right above your head. So that flexing, you might feel a little activation in the backs of on the back of your leg, left leg. I'm going to point the left foot. Draw circles on the ceiling with your big toe. So just little tiny circles with the big toe. Reverse the circle with the big toe. Again, this seems like a brain teaser to me. I feel really spastic doing it, but it's all good. We're gonna circle big with the whole left foot. Reverse the circle with the left foot. We're gonna point and flex the left foot. This left leg, my left leg is much more sensitive in the back than when I did this on the right leg. This side's really tight, which is okay. When we go through our classes, you have to, well, you don't have to, but it's good to pay attention to what's happening with your body. Nothing for you to worry about or fix or concern, but like I noticed that my left leg is tighter. So I'm not just laying here calling out things for y'all to do. I'm trying to feel and witness the yoga in my body as we go. All right, hang on to the left leg. Exhale, lift your forehead towards your left knee. We'll do 5. Inhale, come down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, come down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, come down. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, come down. Last one we're gonna hold. So lift up, shoulders down. Hold here, take a few breaths. So forehead in the direction of the left knee. Hold, breathe. Lower your head on an inhale. Lower the left leg slowly. Don't just throw it on the floor. Control it, make this, pay off. Use your abs, left leg all the way down. Right leg extends on the floor. Arms up and over on a breath in. Big stretch. I gave you stretch options already. Do those or do nothing. Just stretch. Plain old stretch is good. And then exhale, knees to chest. Hang on, hand corresponding knee. Just hold here. I want you to pull the knees towards your chest, like for real. Pull the knees towards your chest. That activates the muscles in the arms. You can feel that. Also, it stretches the butt and the back of the thighs more. So hang on tight. It's harder to breathe like this, but do the best you can. Now release that, just let it go back to its neutral place. I want you to rock side to side. So I want you to come all the way to whatever side you're going toward. Try that. So you feel a massage sensation on especially on the fleshy part of your hips. If you come all the way over to the side, feel the floor under you as you go back and forth. Pay attention to that. That's a massaging effect. And this is really good if your back hurts. You can do these. You can do them in bed too. It's more cushy in the bed, but they're not as good because you don't have the firmness of the floor under you, but they're still therapeutic if you do these in bed. Just slowly rocking back and forth. And then come back to center with this. Now I just want you to rock a little bit side to side where this massage feeling is a little more concentrated around the low back and the lumbar area of your back, and see the difference of how that feels. This is much more concentrated, although I do like including my hips in this, and I go all the way to one side or the other. So I just want you to feel the difference so that you can decide how you want to do this. So we're just rocking back and forth. Check on your breath. And then come back to stillness. We're going to lift the feet. So the knees stay deeply bent, just the way they were. We were here, now we're here. Okay, this is called happy baby. So you can hang on the backs of the knees. You don't have to hang on at all if you don't want to, but hang on the backs of the knees. Hang on around the ankles. And you can also hang on, traditionally we'd hang on to the outsides, the blade side, the pinky toe side of the feet, but also to make it accessible, you can hold on to the arch side of the feet. The knees are really bent, so the legs aren't way out here in space. They're tucked, knees down towards your armpits. Hang on wherever you can. It doesn't matter where you're hanging on, just hang on and hold here. This is happy baby. Check your breath. And then here I want you to rock back and forth. So see how that feels. So rocking side to side, breathing through your nose. Big breaths in and out, side to side. Side to side, check your breath. Hi, Evelyn, I didn't know you were here. I'm so glad you're here. Breathing through the nose. And then come back to stillness and hold happy baby. Just hang on here. Flat back. Chin is not pointing up to the ceiling, but a little tucked down. So the back of your head is comfortable. You're not feeling too much of an angle on the back of the neck. And then let's put feet flat on the floor. We'll cross the right thigh over the left. I'm gonna drop knees to the right. Excuse me, everyone, knees to the left. So this is a supine twist, a version of many of the supine twists. So right thigh over left thigh. Exhale and drop knees to the left. So let's talk about the arms and have them out in a T shape. You can bend the elbows a lot and have your index fingers and thumbs touching in a diamond shape. You can do cactus arms, which is elbows bent and like your arms in an L shape. So the fingertips pointing away from your head, up above, upward away from your head, and the elbows bent. So that's called cactus arms. And also bring the arms down as if we're in corpse pose. So 3/4 of the way down, palms up like we do in corpse pose. So try those out. So I'm feeling a stretch in my right buttock. See if you feel anything. And again, you may not feel anything, and that's okay with me. But that would be one of the target areas for this shape. The other target area is the spine, the spiraling of the spine. And then let's inhale. Oh no, before we inhale and move, just straighten the right leg. Just the way your legs are wrapped up, just straighten the right leg. Try to put the inside or the arch side of the right foot on the floor. So we're not moving the torso at all. The legs were crossed over one another. Now we just straighten the right leg. And that deepens the stretch on the outside of the right hip and thigh. And then inhale onto your back. The right foot touches the mat, and then we cross the left thigh over the right thigh. Exhale, drop both knees to the right. We'll start here first. You have your arm variations that you can choose from. My buttocks feels equally tight on both sides. And again, no worries about that, just me staying in tune with what we're doing and not starting my to-do list for the rest of the day after class and what I'm going to eat later and got to find lunch for work tomorrow and all of that. I'm just staying in the moment by noticing the sensations moving around my body. We'll take 4 more breaths in this shape. And then we're going to extend the left leg. Just straighten it out. If you can, put the left arch side down on the floor if you can. If not, it doesn't matter. It can hover above the floor. Just getting a little added stretch to the outside of the left thigh. And then inhale, curl back onto your back. Both feet on the floor. I'm going to windshield wiper the knees. So both knees going the same way to loosen up things a little bit. See how that feels? Side to side, side to side. Allow both knees to drop to your left and hold, just whatever way they fall. Begin the arms T-shaped, corpse pose shaped, gold post or cactus arms, or diamond shape. You pick. We'll hold here. So this is a spinal twist also. And then inhale, knees up, and then knees to the right side. Just let them fall wherever they fall. Breathing through the nose. And then knees up again on an inhale. Bring the soles of the feet to touch supine butterfly. So allow the knees to drop open. The soles of the feet are touching each other. This is supine butterfly. We can also do this pose seated, or seated butterfly. The great hip opener and a great stretch for the inner hamstrings. And then inhale, bring the knees or the legs, knees up toward the ceiling. Grab your right knee, pull it towards your chest. The left foot is flat, or you can extend your left leg out on the floor, your choice. So left foot flat, left knee pointing to the ceiling, or extend the left leg straight out, flex both feet, hold here. This again is a stretch for the buttock, right side this time, stretch for the buttock and the back of the right thigh. Hold here and breathe. Let's circle the right ankle a few times while we're here. Right foot circles, breathe through your nose. Reverse the direction of the circling of the right foot. And then place the right foot on the floor. Bring the left knee to your chest on an exhale. You can also extend the right leg straight out. If the right leg is out, flex both feet. And let's circle the left foot. Reverse the circle of the left foot. Now we'll stretch out into Shavasana. Okay, so you can be, again, flat out on your back in corpse pose, modified corpse pose, or a variation of corpse pose to give some love to our low spine is feet flat, feet on the long edges of the mat, and knees dropped together to support one another. You can bend your knees up to your chest and turn onto one side. The bottom arm is your pillow. That's another way to do corpse pose, side corpse pose. Okay, and just hold here. Take some breaths. Notice your feet. Take an inhale. Exhale. Notice your legs. Inhale. Exhale. Notice your hips. Inhale. Exhale. Notice your hands. Inhale. Exhale. Notice your arms. Inhale. Exhale. Notice your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Notice your spine. Inhale, exhale, and notice your head. Inhale, exhale. Next breath in, bring your arms over your head, big stretch. Last stretch of our class, make it count. And then exhale, knees to chest if you are on your back, and turn onto one side and come up to seated. Just want to thank you for coming. Thank you for having me, Uma Clinic. Happy New Year, Evelyn and family. And I'll see you here next week. I'm so happy to be here. This is, again, my first class of the year. So I'm going to start out with a big bang. Take care. Bye-bye.